Hello, and welcome back to Mega Man Battle Network. According to the online tracker, it has been 215 hours since I last got a check in this game. But we are finally good to go. So, a couple of things have happened. The main thing is I got my case, my PT case. I also got the Cyber AC/DC Metro Pass, which would allow me to get to Scilab Network, I think, on the net. But I already got there by going through the Undernet, which was apparently they knew that that was possible, but they didn't put that in logic because they didn't want me to be forced to do that out of logic. So they just assume that you're not going to do it, basically. Which is an interesting choice, but I'm sure they have their reasons for it. But PT case unlocks the beach area. Before we get into that, though, there is an update to the tracker. We now have a region overview here. And I think Mr. Ibis, I think is the person who's responsible for the tracker, made this really lovely subway map here, which just kind of shows the various connections in the various parts of the game. And so this is just helpful if you need to know what you need to get where. It's pretty nice. So PT case lets me go from Metro Line to Beach Overworld, which lets me get to all these places. Today we will be doing the beach and the hospital, and I guess also Hades Isle. So quite a bit of stuff to do. Very much a game where you do things in bursts. And also this is one of those games where it actually tracks when items are collected out of your game. So the DNN boxes here, for example, that's already been collected, so I don't have to actually do it. It looks like I don't actually have a lot of stuff that has been collected, though, which is surprising, because this is a game, the multi-world is at about 80%. Yes, can't do that, but I can do beach. 80% complete at this point, with auto-collect. So I would have assumed that we'd have a lot of stuff done. Apparently they haven't. My games haven't had a lot of good stuff in them, I guess. Or a lot of stuff for games that finished early. So yeah, an antidote. I mean, that's not exactly good either, but let's start. So in this van, it says there's a blue mystery data. Okay. We find Mustache. Alright, so let's just make sure we're not missing anything here. We have the battle console, a shadow trade, and the kiosk. Don't know where these checks are off. And this looks like a kiosk, though. The guy with a beard asked me to give this to you. An old rod. Okay, well that's probably quite useful. Is that a Pokemon thing? It sure is. Alright, so we're looking for a trade somewhere. Hive Mind Emulator for StarCraft, that had already been collected, I just happened to remember where that one was. So it's not going to show up as anything. You want Shadow? Sure. What have you got? An emblem for a Sonic Adventure. Still not entirely sure what those are, but I'm sure that it has some value because it is marked as a progression item. Alright, so into the battle console we go, looking for another item here. Hello, Bullman. Burn heal, okay. Not super exciting. Upper floors. This is one of those games, I'm following the tracker pretty closely because I don't really want to waste a lot of time just running around looking at things. But, I don't know, this is the sort of thing where when you're learning a randomizer, I find I tend to rely on the tracker quite a bit, and then as I get better at the game, obviously I do it less. Wide Sword C. Bleak Ring. Okay. Not great. This thing I think you can jack into. This is TV board comp. Okay. Rancid egg. Yeah, it's a thing. And we do have unlockers. Quite a few. An Ultra Ball. Yeah, there's a lot of posters. Oh, it's this one, isn't it? Never mind. There's that poster, and I got a music sheet for Demon Muse. Okay. Full Meteor H. So this is showing up with a yellow title on there, which means it's not in logic. We can see the trade chips here. They are items that can be sent to you in the multi-world. Somebody could find it for me. I think that it being yellow here means that I could go onto the net and find the virus that holds that chip and just grind for it. I'm not inclined to do that, in part because I'd have to look up where it is. But that is a thing that you could do. But the logic of the multi-world will not expect you to do it. Okay, here's blue. Data error. I think I passed something. Alright, so... I don't think I've used these boomer chips yet. I added them recently. Yes. Okay, that was a bit ambitious. If we're that close up, we can hit them though. Also have a lot more max health, I realize. Okay, yeah, I just wasn't close enough to see it on the first pass. That's where I thought it was. Shape of Un. Okay. And with that, we are done with this. However, it is showing here undernet 6 TV Blue Mystery data. Progressive Stimpack Firebat, that's already been collected, which is why it wasn't showing up on here. And yeah, it's yellow, so one check left, but not in logic. That was the DNN station. So the Mega Man Battle Network randomizer, I guess I can talk about this instead of just kind of going through the motions here. Actually give my opinion on some things. I love the Mega Man Battle Network games. This randomizer feels kind of disappointing to me in some ways. I'm gonna jump over to Hades Isle. Because it doesn't follow the story of the game at all. It's just, you're in an endgame state where everything is already accessible, and then they put arbitrary blocks to make it not accessible. But it kind of loses a lot of the feel of the Mega Man Battle Network games, because you have open access to pretty much everything from the start. There isn't a lot of the actual gameplay. And even people that play the randomizer, like I've heard... yeah, we can do this right now, I guess. Dungeon, Hades computer. Yeah. So even people who play the randomizer, they don't do a lot of fights. And they tend to run away from all the virus fights because you just kind of get what you need, and you don't need that much. And so it ultimately ends up not being a super satisfying play experience in that regard. So I know that this randomizer still is a work in progress. Okay. Got cornered because I started in the middle. Yeah, it is a work in progress, and they're going to be changing some things going forward, or adding more options. So that might improve it and make it more fun. For me, I just enjoy the gameplay. I'm not terribly concerned about the actual randomizer aspects as much, which makes playing this as a randomizer kind of questionable, I suppose. Another issue, and this is not just me, this is actually a common thing that I've heard, is that you don't really fight the enemy navis, because there are a bunch of boss fights throughout the game. Well, like Drillman that we just used the chip of there. We don't actually have to really fight Drillman until the final dungeon during the rematch stage. Time Spinner not finished, that's not surprising. And so, because of that, it just kind of feels like the actual game... let's pass the jack out here. The actual game doesn't have a whole lot going for it in terms of... I don't know. I'm not really wording this very well because I still enjoy it. It's just... I don't know, it feels like it could be a lot better than it is. And I know it is being developed further still, so I'm looking forward to seeing continued progress there. It's also, I guess, one of those things that can be kind of hard to design, because how are you going to... how are you going to design a randomizer for a linear RPG? Like, that's always kind of a challenge. Because while I would personally like to have a story mode where you kind of actually play through the story, for a lot of people, I imagine that would just be really boring and linear. I went this way because I saw the data on the map instead of looking for the square. I just auto-piloted. Okay, well, we are done here. It was just that one check. Alright, there's a ton of people here that have these folders, which is kind of annoying. Because I don't want any of your folders. I'm happy with the one I have. There's somebody in here who does a trade, and actually, now that I think about it, they're in here, aren't they? Wrong door. Is it the next one? Yeah, I think it's you. Grab back, sure. Flute. Okay, I've been finding some good stuff in here. And that just leaves the Gargoyle computer, and then we're done with Hades Isle. We don't have to do the Quiz King, thank goodness. It's already been collected. Went the wrong way. Oh, hello. Guess this should be safe. We have a decent chance of killing you. We did not. Took a little bit of damage from the swamp panel, but not too bad, all things considered. Okay, so we do have a portal here, leading to another Darknet location. Trade bug frags. I have a few of those. Anything that I want here? I am using a few wood chips, but I feel like that might be a questionable purchase. Alright, so that's it for Hades. And like part of the reason I want the story mode, I guess to continue with that thought, is that a lot of these scenarios, and this is going to be really obvious when we're doing the hospital scenario here, a lot of these scenarios have a bunch of things that they're supposed to do, and you kind of just skip the gameplay gimmicks of all of these dungeons. Like with the whole zoo that we did last time as well. There's a whole bunch of, you can call them puzzles, but there's stuff you're supposed to do. And it just doesn't do anything. There's not really any point to it. Okay, that's just showing the in the hospital checks. We'll be doing in a moment. Let's talk to the person back here. Trinket. Ooh. That is progress. Alright, into the hospital. And, oh, Quiz Queen is still here. That's unfortunate. Alright, let's start with the TV. Because that's going to be closest. So we'll be here for quite a while, probably. Wrong way again. Oh, we have some really annoying viruses here. This is unfortunate. We killed that one. I think as long as I stay in the back row, that mole enemy can't attack me. And there's no point in doing charge shots here, because I literally can't hit anything. Okay. Step sword. Okay. Those mole enemies are so annoying. Ball. Plan a wave, sure. DLC quest coin bundle. Well, that is worthless. The first 250 of 800 some odd. Theoretically, get you progress towards things, but honestly, I think DLC quest was a mistake. Okay. Vending machine. Ooh, left slash. Somebody just got something good. Hollow Knight. You never know when it's actually going to finish. Speaking of which, there's a charged Lumafly journal entry. Alright. We go to the second floor. Second floor has the bed and Quiz Queen, maybe? I don't remember where she is. Ah. Guessed the right way. Fledgling Wings for Terraria. I'm assuming that's Terraria? I'm assuming that's not terribly good. I don't know what that is, but do not know. Floor or elevator. Oh, I just sent myself a song. Okay. Small at noon, tall in the evening, and gone at night. It's a shadow. What is this? Spy. It is spy. What do you get when you cross sandals with a banana peel. That sounds like slippers. What's round on both ends and high in the middle? Bio, okay. What goes up but never comes down? Your age. Where would you find Mount Fuji? That would be in Japan. Pig gives pork, cow gives beef. Baby sheep is... Yeah, baby sheep. It's not asking for the food, and actually that would be... Well, actually, is veal... I'm not... I don't eat sheep or goat, so like I'm not sure actually what veal refers to. In the fairy tale, what is Hansel's sister called? What planet is between Mars and Saturn? That would be Jupiter. Which one of these animals lays eggs? That would be a snake. Interesting. So that was just completely just random trivia that had nothing to do with Mega Man Battle Network. I'm not sure how I feel about that. On the one hand, it was easier. I could just get through it first try without looking up the answers. But on the other hand, I don't know, I kind of like the ones that I like are the gameplay questions where they're asking you about knowledge, like how much damage does such and such a chip do, and things like that. I think those are my favorite questions. This one just seems kind of arbitrary. Alright, and with that, we are actually done. Except for the basement. Can we get there? We can get here this way. Sent a hot cat to an Undertale. Okay. Yeah, you could have entered there as well. Alright, so that's it for the hospital, except for Hospital Dungeon. I do not remember offhand where all these entrances are. So since we're here, let's just grab an entrance and see what happens. Or I don't remember which entrance is which, I should say. And again, we'd be doing this in order. Am I on... No, I'm not on this one. We can see from here, these trees just don't exist. We don't have to worry about it. We might be here. Yeah, looks like we are. Okay, Proto Man, kill everything. Ooh, Needler 1. Yeah, this is gonna be, I guess, a relatively easy zone compared to some of the other stuff I've done. Certainly compared to Undernet, which is super late game. Whereas this is just not the first scenario, but I remember it being early on. I think that's actually it for this whole area. So there's not really any reason to do anything more here or to engage with the puzzle aspect of it, unfortunately. Although I guess people might argue that this would be a really annoying, a potentially really annoying dungeon to go through. Some of them can be rather long. Okay, can't jack into there. Can we jack into, oops, this thing? No, because we were here, we did the bed already. How about this bed? Is there no entrance on this floor? I feel like there was. One of these doors... Oh, it's this panel. That's the one. I have played this game before, I swear. Alright, this might be Hospital 1. That would kind of make sense. This is where the scenario starts. Okay, so send the Vern Heal. So these trees, do I actually have the ability? I'm not seeing it as a key item. Mod tool, Navicast memory expansion. Oh yeah, I could probably be using that. Yeah, I'm not seeing it down here. There's a program. We go into our Navicast. Okay, we expanded, so we have a little bit more space. Energy change, there we go. I could use this. We might as well just do this for now. Do I have a one-off pink? Sure. So we do have the expanded memory. So with that energy change, I can sacrifice heat chips to burn these trees down. And that's why there's a lot of HIJ. I have a combo for that. If you want to do it. But yeah, that's why there's a lot of fire element enemies here. Oh, the thing stopped. The damage copy did not carry over. So yeah, you can get lots of totem chips. By the way, fun fact about being on grass is that it causes you to take double damage from heat element attacks. Other fun fact, because I am wood element, I take double damage from heat element attacks. So if I'm standing on grass and one of those things hit me, I take quadruple damage. That would be rather unpleasant. I'm just going to use Drill Man because it'll one-shot these. I can even turbo it. Okay, so I do actually need the energy change to get access to this one chip. I'm probably never going to use these. Let's just burn it. Or this one check, rather, not chip. An ice trap. Well, that was a good use of a fire chip, wasn't it? Okay, so from here then... Where is Hospital 3? Here? This looks like a high potential of being Hospital 3. Magnetic shield, well, it's something. Okay, and then looking at this map, we've already had that one collected, so it's just a matter of running around and using the teleporters. And again, you can see a bunch of these trees are missing, although this one isn't. Sure, I'll just use the other totem. One rupee. Better than a trap, I suppose. Yeah, this tree is just gone. That's because this tree, the one on the right, you're required to clear this one as well in order to do the hospital scenario, whereas this one you're not required, so I think they leave it. It's just kind of how it works. Alright, so we have fire element enemies, and we can do double damage with an aqua element chip. Do that, get ourselves another fire chip. Nice. Fire sword. And actually, considering that I'm using grass stage, fire swords might actually be really good. So there's a potential chip grinding options. Just skip to Hospital 4 here. Okay, and then 4 goes to 5. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so fire sword or various fire chips would actually be really powerful for me because I would be able to double their damage using the grass stage. So it might actually be worth grinding here if I cared to get a fire chip holder going. Okay, this is probably... Yeah, we can... Because this guy... just kind of causes damage around the shield, but... very weak to the wood element, although I do take a little bit of damage doing that. My Twister deals with it pretty well. Oh, you know what? We're here. Let's just grab this, see what it was. Thunder Trinket. Okay, so... Kingdom Hearts game is already finished. Ah. Rotoman, huh? Somebody just finished an Ocarina of Time. We're just gonna wait for the hard head to open up. And oh, we actually got a cannonball. I remember in the first game, those were a huge pain to grind for. But they have gotten better, I suppose. So I could burn this tree down. Do I have... I don't really have a fire chip I want to sacrifice, though. Now that I've thought about the... fishing level? Okay. Now that I've thought about the grass stage interaction, I might actually add the heat shot advance and the fire swords to my folder. I'm gonna think about it. Protoman, just clear everything. Another Needler. Alright, and on to Hospital 5, which has actually been fully collected, so I didn't even need to come here. Yeah, blue mystery data, blue mystery data, blue mystery data. Okay, well. And as we can see, the fight with Plantman, that's not going to be a thing. So that's going to be it for today then. We actually made, well, I wouldn't say a lot of progress. In terms of the overworld we did, it wasn't all that many checks. But we did, I mean, completely clear out Beach and Hospital and Hades. So I guess that is actually quite a bit of progress. And in fact, looking at this, we're now done all the dungeons. So yeah, we're getting pretty close to finished. It's just a matter of waiting. There is this issue. Network locations. I think technically Scilab's still not in logic because we had to take the Undernet route to get here, but we did clear it, so it doesn't matter. I do not have a World 3 pin, so any of the things on the net behind these gates are still not in logic. Which is only like 4 items. There's this one. There's one in the Undernet too, isn't there? It's been collected. Okay. And then there's the endgame stuff that hasn't been randomized, so I don't need to mess with that. So I'm completely done dungeons, I'm completely done networks. Overworld, I have not done Scilab, which includes all of the job board. So there's a ton of checks that get added once you have access to this. So you kind of have to go through the entire game doing a bunch of stuff. And that would be my subpet, which if I just int there, mountain floor 2. Yeah, so we'll get that eventually once that witness player finishes their game. I know that my game's off, it's fine. But aside from that, I think the only thing that we have left to do is the World 3 Island, and then also secret stuff, which is supposedly in logic, but not required. I don't even know if the stuff is shoveled. So then we've got the World 3 computers. So really, either Scilab or World 3 Island is going to be the next thing that I do. I will see you once I have access to one of those.